Hey there, this is Dr. Pam Perry. There you go. There you go. And so we are revealing today on Black Speakers Network, Speakers Magazine, the May 2024 issue. Uh, Dr. Sade Adu. Sade Adu is our cover girl. Yes, that is it. That is it. Girl, your brand is a big deal. And I had to say it. That is the name of her conference. So we're going to be diving in today. Thank you, Brian Oles, Black Speakers Network. Welcome, welcome. We do this every second Saturday for the last 6.5 years. And today we also have our co-host for this interview, the connector, Rob YB Youngblood.
Peace
Yes,
and blessings.
he
Peace
is
and
part.
blessings.
He is part of the group. Actually, we met connecting through Brian Oles. So it
That's right.
just is like a full circle moment for all of this. And then the thing that you don't know, YB, is that Sade also was at Power Networking as well around the same time that we met.
Really?
Different floors, different, George Frazier's event, which George is going to be interviewed, was interviewed last week. But the Power Networking, Uncle George, was the one that brought all of us together to meet. So because of Power Networking, Sade was there. I think you were a coach. Were you a coach?
Yes.
You were
Yes.
a coach. And then YB was there with Brian, and that was the one in DC. That was where we all met. So today we're going to be talking about conferences and why it's important. Those that show up go up. That is so important. So this is the magazine for the month. Pick it up, speakersmagazine.com. We'll be going through it page by page. But the main thing I wanted to do is to really give you a little bit more. We wrote a story about Sade, but to go into a little bit of her background, very interesting. So I'm gonna let YB kind of like lead it off because I don't want to tip it off of all the things I know about Sade. It's good, but I'm gonna let YB kind of like lead the conversation, and I'll jump in.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, welcome to everybody that's watching. We are truly excited to be here to share some insights and wisdom with those of you who are striving to grow your speaking business. I'm Rob YB Youngblood. In many circles, I'm known as the LinkedIn locksmith because of my ability to unlock the power of LinkedIn for many speakers out there. As a matter of fact, Pam and I are forever connected because of our book, Speak Up: The Ultimate Guide to Dominate in the Speaking Industry, which also features Dr. George Frazier, Les Brown, and about 30 other dynamic speakers who are connected by the Black Speakers Network. So we are forever grateful to Brian Oles for the opportunity to be connected there. And so, Dr. Sade, it is a pleasure to have you here today with us. What part of the world are you coming to us from today?
Thank you so much. I am in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Wonderful.
But you just recently landed and hit ground from.
Yes. I was in Nashville, Tennessee last night.
Okay. All right. So this is a real jet setter, right? This is a real jet setter. So her conference will be in Charlotte. She lives in Raleigh.
Yes.
She did the previous ones you did were in ATL?
In Atlanta, yes.
Atlanta. So this is a world traveler. Where have you been in your short career here? Where'd you start?
So 10 years ago, I actually started my business in the Republic of Kazakhstan. So I was living in Central Asia for 3 years. And before I left my international teacher job, I started my business online. And I just wanted to inspire and motivate and empower people to live their best lives. I didn't realize I needed to figure out how to make money from that. And that's when this process started. So I literally started my business teaching and training and coaching people around the world. And then I decided that we had to monetize this process. So that's where Speakers Magazine and Pam Perry and this community of Black Speakers Network comes into play, because we need to monetize our gifts. And that's where this conference comes in. Build this brand so you can be seen, heard, and well compensated.
There you go. So listen, Asia, what made you want to go there, and what made you what were you doing?
How do we start this process in the Republic of Kazakhstan, a Black girl living in the former Soviet Union? Yes, I know. People like, wait a minute, Back
Yeah.
up. Tell me about that. So
Thank you. Thank you.
prior to accepting a position in Kazakhstan, I was living in Philadelphia. I was going to school for my master's degree. I was attending the University of Pennsylvania. And the year that I was becoming a teacher, there was a hiring freeze and we were in the middle of a recession. So they told me I'm from New Jersey. Like you said, Pam Perry says, I get around. I'm from New Jersey. I went to school in Baltimore, the Morgan State University. After I got my bachelor's at Morgan, I went to the University of Pennsylvania. And my goal in life was to become a teacher. I still love teaching. I love education.
Mhm.
But the year that I got my teaching certification, there was a hiring freeze in the city of Pennsylvania, in the city of Philadelphia. And I was not going to be an essential teacher because I was going to teach social studies. So they need the math and the science teachers.
Right.
They
right.
weren't going to need me. So what does enterprising smart people do? We go somewhere else. And it happened that somewhere else was a position in Kazakhstan. And what I'll say is part of this is I definitely took a leap of faith to do the things
Yes.
I do. When I was in Philadelphia, I was student teaching, and I was student teaching at one of the most diverse schools in the nation, over 4,000 students, and they taught 42 different languages. I wanted to teach at the school in the hood. That's what I told them to send me. I said,
You want to be like Abbott Elementary.
send me to the hood, West Philadelphia, down the street. They sent me to a school that was like 90 minutes away. I had a 90-minute commute every morning. I would leave like at 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning to get to school on time. And it was one of the most diverse experiences for me. And I didn't realize it was setting me up for my next experience, which will be an international experience. And when I told my students that I was going to be moving to Kazakhstan, they didn't say, where is Kazakhstan? They said, how are you going to go there because you don't speak Russian? That's my students have been to, I had students that were Russian and from Yugoslavia and all these other places. So they were very familiar with that part of the world because that's where their families were from. So it was a setup for my next level to go to Kazakhstan. And I had met students who lived in that area who were familiar with it. My brother was international. He was in the Middle East at the time. So he was in the military and he was a contractor. So I had him do like a country analysis to make sure that it was safe for me to go. He gave me the green light. And I went with a group of people, but I was the first Black person they hired, and I was the youngest hired by my organization. But I was very committed to not being the last. So before I left Kazakhstan, the school district, let's say it's a school district, expanded. And every city, there was someone who looks like me in every city before I left Kazakhstan.
I love that. I love that. YB, there is the HBCU experience has I want you all to talk about that, has really prepared. I did not go to HBCU, but everyone that I know that has gone to HBCU are powerful risk takers, confident at a very young age. Not that if you don't go to HBCU, you're not, but what I find that everyone that goes to HBCU, you went to Virginia Union, you went to Morgan State, Brian went to Morgan State. There's always a lot of Howard people that are on the thing. So tell us about the experience of that and how that kind of played into your, I guess you say your confidence building, because you're very young going to, out the country, right? Like you're like in your 20s, early 20s.
Early 20s.
Yes.
I was like 22, about 22.
Where does that confidence come from? And you said like every other person, they would just leave and go somewhere else. No, not so. Most people's like, well, I'm gonna find me a job working at Starbucks or something until something opens up. That's like the typical thing. The typical thing is like, well, you know what? There's not a job here in the States. I think I'll go over to Russia. Like, really? Yeah. So tell us about the HBCU experiences, guys, and how that plays into your confidence and wanting to share as speakers. That's a lot of Brian's the BSN are HBCU grads. And I think that's something to do with why there's the Black Speakers Network, is a little bit more flavor or just cultural differences. Give us the skinny on that.
For me, I will say it was a phenomenal experience. It's the gift that keeps on giving. The network, the community, the people that I was able to meet, my sorority sisters. Like, it was an amazing experience. And it's
Which freak? Which divine nine?
I know I wear a lot of pink, and I don't want you guys to get confused.
Right. I know it was AKA.
It's blue, okay? And I remember Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. We wear all colors.
Okay. All right. That is it.
Confused. I have my pink side of my closet, and I have my royal blue and gold side of my closet as well.
All right. And that's Zeta?
Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, the Beta Tau chapter at the Morgan State University.
Okay. Well, I think you are the first one because we have had everybody. I think you're the first one from your sorority on the cover because we had Dr. Stacey N.C. Grant, we had AKA, we had Sharon Rose, we had the Deltas, so you're the first. So we got almost all the divine nine now, I think. Yeah. Cool.
I feel very special.
I think YB is in one. He's in there you go. He gonna talk about
we love the poodles, you know what I'm saying? We got love for SG Rose, and Dr. Penn, we're on the same wavelength because that was my big question. Like I really wanted to know, like, how did your Morgan experience prepare you not just for where you went internationally, but for where you are right now? I mean, Dr. Pam hit the nail on the head. One of the things that we're taught at HBCUs, which is often a question that we get, like, why would you want to go to school with all Black people? That's not what the world looks like. But what I know I was taught is, I'm sure you heard the same thing, Dr. Sade, is that we get to understand ourselves and get comfortable with who we are, so that when we do step out into a diverse world, we're able to hold our own. But go a little deeper, like in terms of where you are today, in terms of your career. Obviously, we leverage our networks to open up doors for us, but is there anything specific about your Morgan experience that really prepared you for where you are today and for what you're doing right now?
So for me, I'm from New Jersey, and in the state of New Jersey, there's no HBCUs. And I knew that I wanted to go to a HBCU. Of course, I was inspired by watching, a different world. And I just knew somehow I had like the curriculum book, the school catalog from Morgan State, like when I was in like a sophomore in high school. And I was like, I want to go to Morgan. I don't know where this seed was planted. And I only knew one person that went to Morgan at that time. And I said, I want to go there. And then I had a chance to visit. And it was just a phenomenal experience. I knew that was where I was supposed to be. I knew it. And just learning more about yourself, the professors, the people, the experience. We just had a really great time. Like lifelong connections were made at a HBCU, and the confidence building to know who you are. So for me, I went to an all-girls school for high school. So I got really comfortable with being the woman that I was. And then on top of that, going to an HBCU and being comfortable in my Blackness, that I'm just happy to be Black, and understanding us at a different level. And my first degree is in history with a concentration in African-American studies. So going to an HBCU and really understanding the history and the culture and the power that we bring to the table is just phenomenal. So then going to an Ivy League institution, I was okay with being me. And I was grounded in who I was. So it just was the setup for the next level of going international and traveling around the world and understanding that, perceptions of Black people around the world are not what we see in America. And we have an understanding like, okay, yes, this literally sometimes I've been the first Black person and sometimes the last Black person that people meet. And understanding what that means and what culture and history means and what does that look like? And then what is my obligation in this space to create a new paradigm shift for people? Because if I'm going to be the first one, you're not going to think I'm Michael Jackson or Nicki Minaj. Like there's other narratives and other types of Black people. So that was part of, I guess, my mission, whether it was intentionally or unintentional. I wanted to make sure that I shifted the way in the perspective of how people saw Black people. We're smart, we're intelligent, we're silly, we're funny. We are not a monolith. And having that grounding at an HBCU really just cemented that. Like, we're not the same. And I want you to see that we're not the same. And you can't just treat me any kind of way too. So that was another thing. Like going overseas, there are people that were like touching my skin. They wanted to see if it was going to rub off. No, it's not going to rub off. Oh my God. Like looking at me and gawking at me. I was really the other. I was like a main attraction at the circus. And I'm like,
mm,
no, I'm a regular person. I know you haven't seen people who look like me before, but I am a
mhm,
human. And
mhm.
just being really comfortable and confident in my own skin was definitely something that I got from Morgan State. Like, it's
Yes,
really the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
good.
that. I love that. The thing, what is your PhD in, Sade?
I have a
That's
PhD in education with a concentration from the School of Education, but it's curriculum and instruction with a concentration in multicultural education.
there
Mhm.
you go. You are a teacher, like just full out teacher. So you're teaching online, you're doing all of this coursework, teaching people how to. It's just timing of that. I mean, you always want to be a teacher, but who would have thought in the information age that you're going to be this course creator, right? This is what you do, digital course creator. So tell us the first course that you produced, that how that was and how it went.
So I think going back in the day, I'm going to even go back before this business, because part of this journey was really understanding who I am and why I do what I do. I realized I've been developing curriculum since I was 16 years old. I used to manage an art appreciation summer camp, and somehow
Oh,
they let me be in charge and develop the curriculum. I was making
okay.
the summer camp programming, and it was not just art, but we were also doing educational activities. And
Mhm.
I was the person somehow in charge at 16 years old.
Get
So
out of here.
developing
Mhm.
curriculum for a long time. And that's what I did in Kazakhstan. We developed the policies for a brand new school. So when they brought me in, we this school that was day one. When we got there, that was day one. They brought us there over the summertime and said, "You will develop the curriculum." I was like, "We in our 20s. They would never give us this opportunity." A new teacher to develop everything. So we built that curriculum and school policy from scratch.
Love that.
So that was just my foundation prior to starting my business. So putting a course together, master classes, trainings, it's second nature. That's what I went to school for. That's what I've been doing for years. It was just normal. But my first one business wise was about branding.
Okay. Yes.
It's
Mhm.
Yes.
about building
Yes.
a brand, and then about live streaming as well. Because when Periscope came out,
You
people
were
were
the
like,
Periscope girl. I
"Oh, I
remember
love
that.
Periscope." Periscope was like my Oprah moment. I was like, "This is why I was born." I was like, "I don't know about this Instagram thing, but this Periscope, this live streaming was like." I realized I was alive. I was born to do this. I'm supposed to have a mic. I'm supposed to be speaking. So Periscope opened up some doors for me, and people wanted to know, well, how do you live stream? How do you, build your brand live
Yeah.
streaming and using video? And
Yeah.
those were some of the first conversations that I was having with people. And I realized I also knew things about branding. And going back to my history, I have a eclectic history. Going back to being in Irvington, New Jersey, I used to work gubernatorial, presidential, and municipal campaigns before I was able to eligible to vote.
Oh,
So I learned a lot about branding and marketing from politicians.
and
My mentor
campaign. There you
was,
go.
was a
Mhm.
councilwoman, and that was our side hustle. I didn't want to work at the local Rainbow and do retail. I was like, put me in politics again.
Hmm.
This, and I had a government job at like 16 years old. I used to work for the Department of Transportation. We used to clean up the city and
Mhm.
wear orange jumpsuits, and
Yep.
clean up the
Yep.
city. People
I
would make
remember
fun
on
of us.
Saturdays.
I got a government job. I got paid. And these are just some of the things that we did at Irvington, New Jersey that really, those skills, working with the government, working with politicians, I learned you got to knock on doors. You got to call people. You have to
Yeah.
market yourself, and you have to
Mhm.
speak as well. Because my mentor made sure that we were doing speeches in ninth grade for moments like this. All of these moments, were pivotal to where I am today. I would not be the person I am if it wasn't
Mhm.
for my mentors, if it wasn't for my educational experiences. All of those things just layered together to make me the woman I am today.
You said the mentor. So how many mentors have you had, and who are your mentors now? You have mentors
Always
now?
have mentors.
Mhm. Mhm.
Always. One of the things that I will say, if you want to be a successful person, you want to be a leader, you have to have multi-generational mentors. So you
Mhm.
have to have mentors that are younger than you. So I have a crew of Gen Zers because they got to
Mhm.
tell me what's popping, what's happening in the world. They got to tell me about makeup and hair. They got to make sure that I get my life together. So I have them.
Me too.
And then I need older mentors who've been and who have lived life and can tell me about it, can give me, an expedited script about what to do and what not to do. And that has been so instrumental for me. My mentor passed away a couple of years ago, and just watching her navigate life. And she's like, you got to go to school and you got to, do these scholarships. And these are some of the things that you needed to do. Now, she didn't want me to go overseas. She was like, I got a job for you. Like, you can just come back to Jersey. You can teach at your old middle school. I will find you a job. You do not have to go to Russia. And I
Right,
was
right.
like, I'm gonna go. She wasn't happy about it, but she understood who I was and the things that
Hmm.
I was creating. And you just need mentors for different parts of your life. Like,
Yeah.
we're not supposed to do life alone. We're
No.
supposed to have people who know things that you don't know, who've
Mhm.
experienced life in the way that you haven't experienced or you desire to experience it, and they can help you get to your goals faster. We get there
Right.
with people faster. You can move faster by yourself, but you'll be wiser and smarter when you take people with you. So mentorship is just instrumental, and it's
Yeah.
been a core pillar of my life.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful, Dr. Sade. And you're in the leadership development space. So how, having mentors, what is your philosophy when it comes to leadership, and how do you apply it to the work that you do today?
So we've been in business for almost 10 years, and when this transition, and part of that is this leadership transition. And the first thing when I was thinking about leadership is how do I become a better leader? And one of those things, I just came from a training about leadership this week and I was supporting it. And one of the parts is self-leadership. You gotta be a good leader. So we
Right.
got to do some intrinsic work. We got to work on ourselves every single day. So personal and professional development on you is the first thing that you need to do to become a better leader. It can be drinking more water. It can be reading, going and attending events, surrounding yourself with leaders. Then the next piece is you need to have a community of mentors and people who are in leadership positions. You need to
Mhm.
have people who are ahead of you and who can show you where to go. So I'm constantly talking to people who are 10 years older than me, 20 years older than me, and I'm looking at the things in the experiences and decisions that they've made in life. And I'm saying, well, how did you get to this goal? How did you achieve this? One of my this person is a client, but she's also a mentor, and we're about 10 years apart. And I said, well, I need to do this. I'm having this struggle. And she was like, well, you need to do this. And her telling me this one thing saved me like thousands of dollars. So that
Whoa.
I could
That's
put
what I'm
that
talking about.
somewhere else. And it was just one casual conversation. And it just never occurred to me to even ask her. And I did. And
Mhm.
she was like, just do this. And it just
Mm.
set me in a different mindset and talking to people. So leaders have to have a council of leaders. And
Mhm.
then the other part of if you are ascending into leadership, your job is also to train the next generation of leaders.
Right.
That part.
You also have an obligation because you're in a spot and you shouldn't be in your position forever. You need to ascend to the next level. So when you ascend to the next level, there needs to be someone who is trained to ascend to your level. Because whether or not you like it or not, there's somebody who is praying to be where you at right now. They want your spot. And you can't be in your spot forever because you need to go to the next level so somebody else can ascend into the level that they're supposed to be in.
That is
Come
I
on, talk that talk.
that is so true. I always talk about that too, especially in radio. And I love all of the old guys that are on radio, like it used to be Tom Joyner and then you had Donnie Simpson. But I always said they are there for 40 years. There's some other people behind you that want
That's right.
on the air. So I'm thinking that, the internet has opened up so people can do their own internet radio shows. But literally, it's only like it was like four spots. And if they stay there for 40 years, that means nobody else has a chance to
No one
get. So
else can ascend into
you
that
do have
spot.
to go to. So maybe, what I'm saying is that when you're in a spot for a long time, maybe 20, 30 years or so, go and be an owner so that you can create a station and then you can bring on other people and that kind of thing. That's
Yeah.
the whole. So I
Yeah.
want to before we get into the magazine, tell us about Girl Your Brand is a Big Deal.
The Girl Your Brand's a Big Deal conference experience is coming. It's next month. It's June 6th, 7th, and 8th. We're going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina
Is
at
this
the
around your birthday?
My birthday's in July, but I'll say yes. We're gonna say it's around my business birthday. So
Okay,
10
there
years
you
in
go.
business, right around that time. It's around the 8th through the 10th. So right around that time, we'll be celebrating my business birthday. We are super excited. Our keynote speaker is Kim Coles, the iconic, legendary Kim Coles of Living Single. We are happy to have some phenomenal speakers and experts. This is a marketing conference, okay? So we're talking about business, how to protect your intellectual property, how to multiply your wealth. So how do we take this internet money, your speaker money, and how do we multiply it into different assets like stocks and options and trading? We are going to be talking about profit first. How many people in business are not paying themselves? It is time that we are more profitable. So we're going to be having these conversations. We're also going to be talking about marketing, paid advertising, how to leverage video, how to create content, and how to create digital products so that you can get paid while you sleep, while you eat, or while you're doing an interview like this. So this is a phenomenal conference for women entrepreneurs who are experts, your coaches, your speakers, and you are someone who wants to grow your business. This is going to be an implementation and execution-based event. You want to be there, Charlotte, North Carolina. The URL is thebigdealconference.com, thebigdealconference.com.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
You named it, Girl, Your Brand is a Big Deal. Do women feel that you have seen or typically have seen that they feel like their brand isn't a big deal? Like, what was that confidence boost that you had to name it that? So
the funny part is the story of Girl, Your Brand's a Big Deal. I didn't technically name it. Shout out, I'll say who named. Shout out to Trevor Otts we had a brainstorming session.
Love Trevor.
And he said, you need to name it. It was from my website. It'd been there for years. Like you're a big deal. The world needs to know it. And he said, call it Girl, Your Brand's a Big Deal. And I was like, I don't know about that. He said, call it Girl, Your Brand's a Big Deal. And I said, okay, Trevor is a marketing genius. He just gave me one of his nuggets. I'm going to accept it. Mm-hmm. And we ran with it. And it's an affirmation it's an affirmation to me that you're important. The things that you put in this world are powerful, and more people need to know you exist. And it's an affirmation to every woman entrepreneur, and even some of those awesome men, that you are a big deal, and we have to amplify our voices. We have to make noise for it because the world needs us. Yeah. And coming from that event that I was at, that was with more corporate women yesterday. And the same thing remains constant, that we're doing phenomenal things in multiple industries, but we're being silent about it. And it's so funny. I was at the conference yesterday, and one of the coaches came up to me. They had just saw me, and they were downstairs, and the email went out about Speakers Magazine. He was like, you really are a big deal.
You're a big deal. You're a big deal.
I love it. I love it.
They were screaming and coming to me at the hotel. I was like, that's not me. I got a twin. Like, oh, it's you. You are a big deal. And people were messaging me. And it's just like we are, sometimes I call it, we hide under humble.
Yeah, we do. We really do.
That, our work will just speak for ourselves when we need to speak for ourselves. And we need to be advocates, and we need to talk about it, because our male counterparts don't necessarily have this issue. If we look at the data, when we talk about even applying to jobs, if a woman is not at least 80% qualified, like the
credentials,
she won't apply. But if a man, it could be 20 to 60%, they will apply.
They will. They just figure I can talk myself into
it. Every optional requirement we got to fit in order to feel confident and comfortable enough to apply for the job. But our male counterparts statistically don't feel that way. So that's part of why we're not receiving raises. We don't make more money because we're not applying, and we don't believe that we deserve it. So part of this conference is a confidence booster to remind people you deserve to be paid well. You deserve to make noise and brag about the things that you do. And people need to know that you exist, because what you do in the world is good. And if we have more good people with amplified voices in the marketplace, we can have more good things happen. We can have more Pinky Coles in the world. We can have more philanthropic things, that people who want to give back to HBCUs and communities and feed the babies and clothe the clotheless. Like, we can do that. But the
Mhm.
problem is they don't know we exist.
Right.
Right.
And then we complain about what we see, the media that is created, or the salaciousness and people who become famous. Guess what? Get on your mic, get on
That's
your
right.
phone,
That's
get on,
right.
turn on a live stream, and you'll be the difference maker. You'll be the one that creates powerful content that pierces people's thoughts and hearts.
She is preaching to the choir,
Oh, she
YB.
cooking. Now Brian in the chat, says she cooking. Let her cook. Let's keep simmering. You just
We
gotta
got
keep.
no excuses.
But I have a question though.
Deandra
I wanna
said,
be educated. I
go
need, because
Sade.
I'm in the branding and marketing space as well. And so when you talk about how women, have that challenge, what can men do to best support women without coming across like, like we want to take over or mansplain or whatever? Like what would you say to the brothers out there who do, they're not afraid to go get it? How do we support the sisters who may have a challenge in that space?
I love that question because one of the things I want to say is we're supposed to do this together. Let me
Mhm.
be very clear. I work with women entrepreneurs. I got the hot pink. I make it very clear about who my target market is. But I'm also very much so intentional about making sure that whenever we have events, whenever we're doing something, there are always men in the space because that's important to me. There's always been at every conference, we always have a male presence, we have male speakers because we're supposed to do this together. So that's my core belief and core value that we're supposed to do this together. When it comes to men, bringing women to the table, being very intentional that women are in the space. Like if you have a lineup of an event or programming or there's a board, there's something happening. Are women also contributing to the conversation?
Mm-hmm.
Am I advocating for them? Am I listening to them? Am I saying, hey, what do you think about this? How do you see this? What is your perspective? So just being extra intentional to make sure that there's a space for diverse thoughts in women leaders. And it just takes an extra layer of intentionality. And I think, when you're somebody who's in a minority or a double minority, you think about it. So when I was in Kazakhstan, yeah, I knew I was the only Black girl there. So I had to, when the conversation came up, I'm like, yeah, it's okay for you to come to Kazakhstan because we need more Black people here. We need more women here. They need to see that we are not a monolith. They need to experience us, but it's okay for you to come.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So being in that space, being semi in the DEI space in various just ways of my life, I have to be very intentional. Being an educator, when I talk to, sometimes when I was training teachers, the teaching, space is majority white women, 80%. So, but the students don't look like that. So I'm also having and advocating for these conversations in the classroom. You might not have the experiences of your students, but it's your job to make sure that you are advocating for them and you understand them. Because the students are brown and the teachers are white, and they need to understand. It's part of your job to be intentional to just think about it. So that's part of it. Just getting people to put that as a part of your thought process. Like, who else is not at this table?
Yes.
We all look the same. Do we all have the same experiences? Are we the same age? Are we in the same generation? Can we bring some diverse people and leaders to the table so that we can get the best outcome possible? Because when we have more women on boards, when we have more diversity on boards, we actually make more money. It's a positive and powerful economic decision to bring us to the table. So sometimes we got to bring that perspective to people and get straight to the data. The research says it's a good idea to have us at the table.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Keandra Jackson said she's in the building and she says, this is go, Sade, go. Brian, Dr. Eric Holmes as well. He's saying awesome and congratulations. Again, Brian is there and he said, great story, Dr. Adu. So, yeah, so we're going to get to the magazine now so that we can go through it because some of these ladies are part of your community.
Yes.
Some are speakers as well. And so we want to get to that. I just want to say, too, that Kim Coles has been on the cover and she's actually going to be interviewing with me on Tuesday. So this coming Tuesday, I'll send out another email, but Kim is going to be on there. So she's going to be, again, talking about the conference and the thing. She's a great storyteller. I just love her storytelling.
Yes.
So yeah, so this is the hot pink, like you said, very intentional about the brand, who you are attracting. This is an intentional color. The hot pink is really, it could speak to YB, but it's just kind of like it's a cattle call out to the
It
women. It's
speaks
like,
to my
yeah,
people, like
we
the hot
love we love the hot pink. I love the hot pink. My office is actually hot pink. So yeah, so that's one in purple. So this one is says, "Girl, your brand's a big deal." And then on the cover, it talks about this one right here, transform your expertise into a profitable brand. And that's what Brian is talking about in the article inside. But your title, we have you as a digital brand strategist, author, and speaker. How many books have you written to date?
I cannot keep up. Maybe 7. If you add that
Seven.
dissertation, probably 8.
Yes, yes. So about 8. So that is it. And then if you kind of hover over that, Monet, you can kind of see that there's a video there as well. So when you go to speakersmagazine.com, you'll see the videos that are embedded in there. I think that is one of your interviews. I want to say HubSpot or something like that. Answer Report. I can't remember, but it was
Oh,
one
okay,
of
for one. I thought there was a Black Enterprise one too.
Oh yeah, maybe it was. So we have 3 of your videos in here. So there was a Black Enterprise one in there as well. So I was digging. We were digging. We're like, okay, she's all over the internet, but let's put the good ones up. So the next page is really Monet. We can kind of talk about this is girl, your brand's a big deal. So Kim is one of the keynote speakers, but you also just added someone else as well. So give us a little bit of who that third person you added that you're
We
promoting.
have, I think our MC is Brandy Wood Smith.
Okay.
She's
Yeah.
by way of Houston, Texas. She's the CEO and founder of Child Care Millionaires. She owns a series of daycares in Houston, Texas, and she has a community of daycare owners. And that's actually, I will be with her in Houston, Texas next week to support her
Okay.
for her community of daycare owners.
And that's educators. You are
Yes.
probably always flowing with educators. They're probably attracted to you because of your
That's one of the reasons we are definitely connected, because I'll say, we want to change the world. We got to start with the babies. If we
Mhm.
can change them and we can get them on grade level, surpass grade level while they're 2, 3, 4 years old, we can do tremendous things. So I am a huge, you're right. It's really deep to my heart about what we do with them, because that's where I started. I was saying, mommies, let me stay after school because I need to help them with the 1, 2, 3s and the ABCs. So I
Mhm.
absolutely, it's still, you're right.
It's
I have a
cool.
huge,
That kind of like always goes
for
together. So that is good. So again, they can scan the QR code, go there June 6th through the 8th, Charlotte, North Carolina. And also too, I'm gonna talk about there's other things going on in Charlotte in July.
Yep.
George Frazier's event is
Yes.
July 10th through the 13th at the Power Networking Conference. So I want to say that at the shout out as well, because he was definitely on the podcast the other week. And then again, hover over that. You'll see the videos. I think this is the highlight reel from the conference from last year when we go over there. Yeah. So you can go and take a look at that. The magazine is not really full, but it has a lot of content in it. It's the videos, it's all of the things in there. So we can't say everything. That's why we do the interview. So we can dig more into Dr. Sade's story. So that's one of the main things too. So we're gonna go over to the next page, and I want her to see the very first time we met. I know you remember that.
Yes,
This was
we're
a
wearing
story.
pink.
Yes, we were in our hot pink, and we were like, "Hey, girl, what's up?" And that's how we met. And Giselle was there in the middle. And actually, we every day of that conference, it was 3 days. We all matched every single day. You had your brand colors on. I think it was black one day, black and white. I know black
Black and white one day, pink
and
and orange another day. We
yes, all the same day. So we said, okay, well, this is getting weird. We got to take a picture. So that was the very first time that we met. And then the other one was when you came to Detroit at Dr. Missy, who was cover number
yeah.
2 of Speakers Magazine, Dr. Missy Johnson. And we were speaking at her conference as well, Fearless Women Rock. And we were just having a ball because we had only really talked like a week or 2 before. And we said, we need to do something together. And so we actually brought a branding PR seminar at her conference. And that was the first time
Right,
I
we
actually
co-taught it together. Oh my
yes,
goodness, you're right. It's been a
it
long
was
time.
hilarious. It was a long time ago. That was probably about 7 years ago. But yeah, we had a ball. I listen, it was all ad-libbed, right? Because we were like,
We put it together. We made it
we put
happen.
we made it happen and we had a ball. And Lucinda Cross was there as well. It was just a really good time. And so I think a video is there as well. But then there's Paula Marie. You know her. She's in this issue. She spoke at your conference
Yep.
last year. So give us a little background of Paula Marie.
Paula Marie is a phenomenal woman. She is the Pinterest queen. She loves talking about Pinterest. She also has a brand called Black Women Do Pilates Too. So she is a speaker. She is an event host. She actually has a retreat coming up in June.
Okay.
And she is just a phenomenal person who's been our community and our branding program and our different coaching elements. And she's just absolutely phenomenal. So if you're looking for some Black women who do Pilates too, definitely check out Paula Marie.
I think she's in the DMV.
She's in the DMV area. Yep.
She's in the DMV, and she's been featured in Radio 1, Self Magazine, Fox 5, that kind of thing. So her information is there. Ebony Biz Diva. That is her.
Ebony Biz Diva.
Yes. So the next 2 pages, just so we can kind of go make sure, because typically, Rob, you know how we don't get to go through everybody. Nicole Garrett and April Mays. I had to laugh. I said April Mays, like really? Of course, her middle name is going to be Mays. Her first name is April. April Mays Rose. So tell us about these 2 ladies. They're
Nicole Garrett and April Mays Road. So this was an opportunity for both of them to come out of their shell. So it's so funny that they're paired together. Nicole is helping people with their businesses, and she's coming out of her own shell. So I'm proud of both of them for coming out of their shell to share with people and be on stage and be powerful and bold and inspire and empower people. So she's hosting events, she's speaking, she's training. I believe Nicole's in the New York area. She's had some events in NYC. So this is just a powerful opportunity. And one of the things that I wanted to do with this edition of Speakers Magazine was to bring other people and provide them a platform as well, because that's what's really important. And I love what Pam Perry and Black Speakers Network is doing, is bringing people access and visibility, and that's what we're about. April Mays Roll is an author. She talks about mom guilt and how not to feel guilty about your goals and aspirations while you're still having children. You know, you can have both. You can have the career, you can have the life, you can be an entrepreneur, you can attend events and not have that mom guilt. So if you have a community of moms and women who want to release mom guilt, definitely chat with April Mays Rhodes. She's also my sorority sister. So you got 2. And
there you go. Okay, there you go.
And she's only 2 hours. She's only 2 hours from me. She's down in Lynchburg, Virginia, which is not too far from Richmond, Virginia.
I love her book title. Her book title is called High School to Adulthood: The Clueless Graduate's Handbook to Adulting. I'm like, okay, that is a graduation gift for every high school student.
Come on.
I love it. So the center spread is what I really love. So this right here, this is the book that is the conference, and the videos is what, girl, your brand's a big deal. That is it. And then the orange, you know, because we got the colors. So those 3 colors, the pink and the orange and the black, those are the ones that we were like, girl, we must be a lot alike. So yeah, that is it. But you know what? These pictures here, the one you skipping in the street, was that in Philly?
That was in Philadelphia. How did you know?
I love that photo. That photo, is everything. But that is a Dr. Sade that I know that is just bubbly and just running up and down the streets and doing the things, right?
In Philadelphia. How did you know that?
I know a lot.
She's a master, Sade. She's a master.
I was in Philadelphia.
Yes. So that is it. And the Big Deal Conference, people can go there.com. They'll read all about it, read about you, little highlights of you there. But the 2 videos are there as well for them to see and read more about you as well. The next one, we talk about Kathy Howard. And I love Danny as well. Danny had beautiful pictures, but you would expect nothing less because she's a beauty in the beauty industry. Yes. So Kathy spoke at your event as well.
Dr. Kathy is from the West Coast. She lives in Las Vegas, Nevada. She is a pastor and a pastor's wife. And her story, when she first came to me, brought tears to my eyes. And I said, you have to share this because, you know, we talk about motivating and inspiring people, but there's a lot of people who have trauma and experience, you know, unsavory things in life. And she's had some very traumatic experiences that have happened in her life. And she's been able to bounce back and be resilient from them. These are things that would have killed some people. And she absolutely just handles it with grace and power. And she helps other people overcome trauma. And I'll say specifically sexual trauma.
Her book is talk about overcoming sexual perversion in the church. That is her book.
Yes, and it happened in the church. She grew up in church, and you know there are some sexual predators, and some of them may, you know, are related to you. So she talks about sexual trauma, rape, and incest, and how she was able to overcome that trauma, and how she helps other people do that as well. So she has a very powerful story. Danny Lourdes is the lock queen. She has a brand to help you grow your locks, love your hair that, you know, is naturally grown from your head. And she's sharing that expertise with people. And Danny just hosted an event recently for lockpreneurs and helping them grow their businesses. And she's coming out of her shell as well. So I'm just proud of her. She's, you know, these women are creative. If you can't see the earrings that she's wearing,
she's killing it. She's killing the game.
She develops those and manufactures those earrings. She actually makes them at home.
Oh my God.
And locks on them. She has them in different colors. So super creative. I mean, everyone in here, they have like, they're just multifaceted. They're entrepreneurs, they're enterprising, and they're just powerful women. And I'm just glad that they said yes to being in the forefront and being in the spotlight.
Yeah. And being creative. I mean, even Travis Michelle. So Travis Michelle was one to really tell us after she got her proof that my name is one word. That is my brand. I'm like, okay, we've been at, you go to the next page, Monet. She's talking about her name being one word because it's part of her brand. I said, okay, that's part of her training with Dr. Sade. Sade is like, okay, Travis Michelle is one word. So this is Travis Michelle, and then Mary, I Inspire Evans, and I think her video that is embedded is her about her conferences coming up as well. So I love seeing women who you put on the stage and then they get excited and then they birth their own conference as well. So that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Absolutely. If you come in my space, one thing people know about me is I love live events. And I'm going to encourage you to host your own events because part of this is if you're a speaker, you need to build your own platform.
There you go.
I probably heard that from Cheryl Wood first. She was like, okay, they don't hire me to come to the stadium. I'm going to have an event at the stadium.
Yeah.
So the first thing is build your own platform in stage. So you don't have to beg anybody for their stage because you got your own. Travis Michelle is a cervical cancer conqueror. And when she came into our community, she was battling cervical cancer and she is cancer free at this moment. And just sharing that story, how she was still pursuing her speaking career. She's been mentored by Les Brown. That's one of her mentors. And she still was going anyway. When we first met, I had an event in New Jersey and she came from New York to the event, but she had the time wrong. So she was there about 5 or 6 hours before the event began.
Oh my God.
People were like, you know, there's some lady waiting for you. I said, we start at 5 o'clock. I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? Some lady is waiting for me. And I said, and she was like, she's been waiting all day in the car. And she came from a doctor's appointment to be with me. That's the power we have. And she began to invest in herself. She was like, her kids were like, what are you doing, mom? Like, what's going on? Like, you need to heal. And she was like, I need to do this. So her story about just being powerful and being resilient has inspired so many people who are going through this challenge of cancer and know they're going to be a conqueror of it. So Travis, you know, I know that Dr. Pam knows about Dr. Missy, and I just think about them too. So when you know, Travis was going through her experience, all I could do was think about Dr. Missy and the stories and the conversations that we've had over the years. And I said, you're going to get through this. And whatever you need from us, we're going to support you. And when we had our event in Atlanta in March, so many people traveled in to see her. She has a community of moms and parents, and she's helping people through divorce. And they came to see her, and they were just so happy that she was here. And she's been leveraging the platform Clubhouse to share her message. So
Oh,
use social media to build your audience. And there were people who met her on Clubhouse who had never met her, who flew, drove all over the place to Atlanta, Georgia to hear her speak. And that's
wow. I love that.
That's
I love
major.
that.
That's major.
You know, we used to be on Clubhouse a lot, YB, back, back in 2020, 2021. And that I haven't been on there lately, but I understand that person who's head of branding for Clubhouse has changed and it's really, really good. It's a Black woman. So I'm still have a presence there, but the woman who is over the branding and the marketing is a Black woman. Yep, sure is, sure is. I love that they're progressive of that, because usually on these apps and things like that, they don't have women in those higher up, especially higher up positions. And then Mary I Inspire Evans. Tell us about her.
Mary I Inspire Evans is a powerhouse from Pontiac, Michigan. She's in the Michigan area. Shout out to Detroit.
Yes, yes.
Mary's always repping. She moved to Atlanta, Georgia during the pandemic and decided that they just needed to do something new. Also during this time, she was her businesses made multiples and multiples of millions, and she lost a lot of that during the pandemic. So she shares this story of how she's bouncing back. It's one thing to make millions, it's another thing to lose it. I said, and it's another thing to bounce back. A lot of people don't bounce back from that.
Yeah.
While she was going through this challenge, I said, listen, you're going to tell this story. You bounce it back, you make it more. Because if you made it one time, your brain knows how to do it again. Just like if you haven't ridden a bike for 20 years, your mind knows how to ride that bike again. And you're going to learn how to rewrite it faster than you did the first time. So she is a scalability detective. She's had businesses in transportation. She's a real estate investor. She's a coach. She also is teaching people how to bounce back and heal from grief.
Yes.
Because she's lost family members like many of us have during the pandemic and during this time. And how do we bounce back from grief so that we can be bold and powerful? So Mary is an absolute powerhouse. She's the scalability detective. That's why she got her detective outfit on. And she's just a powerhouse. And I watch her and I'm amazed by the women who are attracted to me. We met at a Lisa Nichols event in Florida. And she said, tell me what you need from me. And then like the next month, she was at an event supporting me. And then the next month, we were at another event supporting someone else. That's
I love it.
Who she is. She's like, tell me what you need. And she has an event coming up as well. That was something I said, do it. Like, let's rinse and repeat. If I'm
her video is in there. Yep.
So we're excited that she's going to be able to help people build their own stages and support them and get the power of speaking out there.
I like that. Her favorite affirmation, she says, everyone wins. And that is it. I love that. The next one is our BSN leader, Brian J. Olds, Dr. Brian J.
Doctor. Who was with me in Richmond this week. He came down to Richmond, Virginia, and we got some of his favorite food whenever he comes to Richmond, Virginia. You would not even imagine what it is, but I'm gonna tell you.
What is it?
It is cookout. He loves cookout. It's literally cookout type food. It's hamburgers, hot dogs.
Okay, like a cookout.
Yeah, like a cookout. Yeah, we don't call it the other word. We don't call it the other word,
But it's like corn on the cob.
Yeah, well, like chicken nuggets, French fries. You got some Cajun fries and coleslaw. Okay. They put the coleslaw on the burger. It's a restaurant out of North Carolina that has expanded. Yeah, cookout. So he came to Cookout one time and he fell in love with it. He said, "Yeah, I need to come back. I need to come back for some cookout." I said, "All right, come on down. I'll take care."
I love it. So this article he's talking about the silent impact, how visual branding and professionalism speak for you, and he talks about consistent branding, quality media, professional attire matters. We talk about that a lot. Organizational excellence. Brian is such a excellent organizer, but he really goes in deep into that as well. But make sure that you go to blackspeakersnetwork.com and /join to join. If you're not a member, that is how we've been rolling for the last 6 years or so. There you go. Thank you, Monet. She's on it. And then unlock the power of visibility. I have PR services. The reason why I created Speakers Magazine was it for it to be another leg for someone's PR journey. We do Speakers Magazine. We do other media outlets as well that that definitely we can help you in terms of your PR and your branding, getting out there and getting known. And then the last page is always we have the month that is coming up, just like Sade was on the other in she was on the back of this page of March for of April for this. So this person here with Dr. George Fraser, Boyce Watkins, and you also see General Larry Spencer, but JJ Conway is going to be the cover for June. Sade is May, and then the back of this is June. This was Dr. Marcia, and she was the back of April. So we just kind of let you know that you got to show up to these things. Like Sade said, that Sade said, I love live events. This is where those connections are made. That's where the relationships are built. That's the connections. What is it, YB? What do we say about that?
Collaboration creates currency.
There you
And
go.
collaboration creates currency.
That's it. And you got to make sure that you show up. Dr. George Fraser is kind of like Uncle George. And Boyce Walking, and they're talking about wealth building in the Black community. It's really, really create and grow generational wealth. So that's coming up Juneteenth. And so people can go online or they can actually go in person. So you want to make sure that you show up for that. But I love this issue. Oh my God, Dr. Sade, this is everything. I mean, like, here we go. Okay, there we go. This is
Thank
everything.
you for all that you do.
Yes, you have been really at this point 10-year anniversary. So congrats to that.
Congratulations
That is
on that.
major.
Yep.
We actually were at Dr. Cheryl Wood's event last year, not SpeakerCon, but the other one. I can't remember what that with Lisa Nichols and Gloria Mayfield Banks. And you said, I'm celebrating 10 years next year for my business. I am going to be on the cover. I was like, okay. And it happened. So it's just about you just being intentional. Again, very intentional with your brand, your positioning. The next phase of the leg of your promotion is now to really hunker down in Charlotte in terms of the media in that area as well. And there's other things. The press release is out. I don't know if you saw the Instagram of Speakers Magazine, but it was one that cracked me up. I don't know if it cracked you up, but it was the audio was like, girl, you better, while you could access me, you better call me for lunch because I'm about to blow up. You ain't going to have this kind of access no more.
I did not see it. I got to go check it out.
I was like, it's not your voice, but I have your picture with it, right? I was like, this is it, girl. Your brand is a big deal. You better take me to lunch while you can, because I'm gonna be booked and busy. I ain't gonna be able to call you back, and you ain't gonna be able to call me. I was like, oh, this is it. And then the other one, I had the music going, Soldier Boy and
I got the Soldier Boy one.
Lean with it, rock with it. So I got it this time, YB. So yeah. So we just like to have fun, and your conferences are fun. I see you dancing in the highlight reel, and that's how we kind of vibe together anyway, because I'm gonna get on TikTok. And you are just this TikTok. What are you doing with this TikTok? You are every day on the TikTok.
I am not really. I just play around with TikTok. I just be like, they said I gotta be here. I'm here.
She's a beast on it. So check her out. Hey,
Dr. Shade.
Yeah, hey, Dr. Shade on all platforms.
You can
follow her on IG, Facebook, LinkedIn. We're on LinkedIn. So me and YB are always on LinkedIn. How's your LinkedIn game?
She's on there. I checked her out. She's on there. She's got some good things on there. If I could share one thing though, you said you got 7-8 books.
Yes.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Throw them books on LinkedIn.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Have your team throw those books on LinkedIn, because here's the reality. If like you said, if we don't know you got an author on there, but if we don't know you exist, we don't know your books exist, we can't buy it. So I would highly recommend. Now, if they need some help, I know a guy that can help you. So just know a guy.
That is good. That is good. So thank you so much, Dr. Sade Adu.
Thank you so much for having me today.
The first thing that we met, what did I say to you? I said, Sade Adu. I said, your mama did that? Because I'm from the age of I went to her concerts, right? So I'm like, girl, can you sing? Like,
No, I cannot. That is mother's fault.
so I just love that name. So, I'll say anything when I meet people. It's like, this is how I'm going to remember you because your
Right,
name is Sade Adu.
right,
And I used to go to all her concerts. Is
right.
it a crime? All
Oh,
that
come
stuff.
on now. We're about to have a concert. It's about to be extended. Yeah, we're about to have an
Y'all bring
extended
it out. Y'all
concert.
bring it out of me because we have too much fun. Y'all HBCU people just have too much fun.
Oh
Okay. I
man,
just love it. I love
we
it. I
turn
love it.
anything into a party.
Yes, yes,
Just make
yes.
sure you know how to play spades though, because you get run out of school. They be like, what happened to James? Yeah, James done reneged, so he don't go to school here no more.
We play in spades. That is one of those things we play at the cookouts, right? That's what we
Mhm.
do.
We know
Right.
how.
So thank you so much. And I am looking forward to all the PR that's going to be going on for birthing from this point on, right?
I
And
love
Kim Coles is going to be promoting it as well. So she's actually doing a thing. She's Kim Wayans,
it.
Kim Fields,
Kim's comedy tour.
Kim Whitley and Kim Fields. So yeah, they're all doing this Kim thing tomorrow. I'm like, or no, today. So it's like shout out to Kim Cole. So yeah, they're doing the thing. So yeah, so she's gonna be at your conference talking about the power of storytelling. So make sure that people go there and get it. And if you go, let them know you knew about it from Speakers Magazine. Okay. There you
Yes.
go. There you go. All righty. Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Dr. Sade. We will talk with you
Thank
soon.
you.
Okay.
Have a great
All right.
day.
Take care. You too. All righty. Bye bye.